He shot his web and caught her. But the cold, unforgiving laws of physics had already pronounced her death sentence. This singular, agonizing moment is exactly why Gwen Stacy remains an eternal, unhelling scar in the lore of Spider-Man, a tragedy that transcends the screen and pierces the heart. She wasn't just a love interest, she was the heartbeat he tragically lost. To truly understand Gwen's profound significance, one must look at the stark contrast between her and Mary Jane Watson from the Tobey Maguire era. Mary Jane was captivated by the spectacle. She yearned for a glamorous, high society life, constantly wavering between the school bullies, wealthy heirs, and the boy next door. What MJ was truly infatuated with was the adrenaline, the danger, and the radiant halo that came with being Spider-Man's girl. If Peter Parker had never been bitten by that radioactive spider, if he had remained just a quiet, nerdy photographer, she might never have given him a second glance. But Gwen was fundamentally different. Their story didn't begin with a spectacular rescue or a sensational upside-down kiss in the rain. It began in Peter's most ordinary, vulnerable moments. Picture the high school courtyard. A bully is mercilessly tormenting a helpless student. Peter, frail, scrawny, and entirely devoid of superpowers, steps up to intervene. The inevitable result: he gets brutally beaten down. While the surrounding crowd watches in apathetic silence, Gwen is the only one who steps forward. She doesn't resort to physical confrontation. Instead, she uses her sharp wits and a clever excuse to diffuse the violent tension. From that very moment, looking down at the bruised boy, she didn't see a loser. She saw a boy with a heart of pure gold. A boy whose moral compass was unwavering even when he lacked the physical strength to back it up. She fell in love with Peter Parker long before the mask. Their romance was a beautiful, rare symphony of two brilliant minds resonating on the exact same frequency. When Peter finally donned the suit and became Spider-Man, Gwen was the very first person he trusted with his monumental secret. She became his ultimate sanctuary. When he returned from the unforgiving streets of New York, battered, bleeding, and exhausted, she was the only safe harbor where he could completely lower his defenses. She stitched his physical wounds, but more importantly, she used her own brilliant scientific mind to upgrade his arsenal. When Peter's web shooters were fried by Electro's devastating high-voltage attacks, leaving him helpless, it was Gwen who instantly grasped the underlying physics. She proposed the critical insulation modifications, solving a fatal flaw in his gear in a matter of seconds. Gwen Stacy was never a helpless damsel in distress waiting in a tower to be rescued. She was his equal, his co-pilot, and his partner in every sense of the word. Yet, the cruel gears of tragedy had already begun to turn, ticking away like the massive clock tower that would become the stage for their final farewell. In the chaotic, desperate climax of his battle with the Green Goblin, Gwen is knocked from the staggering heights of the tower. As she plummets towards the unforgiving ground, time seems to stretch into an agonizing eternity. In her rapid descent, she doesn't scream in terror. Instead, her eyes lock onto Peter's, and they are filled with nothing but absolute, unwavering trust. She believed, with every fiber of her being, that the man who could save all of New York City could and absolutely would save her. And Peter did catch her. He fired his web, the lifeline shooting downward like a desperate prayer, wrapping securely around her waist at the very last possible fraction of a second. For a fleeting, breathless moment, he thought he had won. He thought he had defied fate. But he failed to account for the merciless reality of physics. What instantaneous deceleration means for a human body in freefall. The exact moment the web snapped taut, the massive, violent force of the sudden stop acted like a brutal, invisible sledgehammer slamming into Gwen's fragile spine. Snap! A sickening, muffled crack echoed through the cavernous tower. When Peter finally pulled her up, the victory turned to ashes in his mouth. What he held in his trembling arms was no longer his vibrant, brilliant Gwen, but a rapidly cooling body. The superhero who had saved the world countless times, who possessed superhuman strength and agility, had inadvertently used his greatest ability to deliver the fatal blow to the love of his life. This unbearable reality became the final straw that utterly crushed Peter's spirit. The tragic death of Uncle Ben had burdened him with the sacred mantra, "With great power comes great responsibility." But the death of Gwen Stacy forced him to violently question the entire purpose of that mission. If he couldn't save the one person who meant the absolute most to him, what was the point of saving the rest of the world? For the first time in his life, he locked away the red and blue suits. He walked away, allowing the crime and darkness of New York to fester and grow unchecked. It was an unprecedented retreat, a profound surrender to grief. Because when Gwen died, she took with her the last remaining warmth, vulnerability, and humanity of Peter Parker, the ordinary boy. When the time eventually came for him to don the mask once more, the radiant, youthful sunshine that once defined him was gone forever. He was no longer the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man fighting for hope and a brighter tomorrow. Every swing through the concrete canyons, every brutal punch thrown in the dark alleys, was now heavy with the suffocating weight of penance and a chilling numbness. Gwen's death did more than just leave an eternal, gaping void in his heart. It fundamentally altered the very essence and undertone of the hero known as Spider-Man. From that day forward, he ceased to be just a man. He became a solitary symbol of grief and duty, swinging alone through an endless, unforgiving night, carrying the ghost of the girl he couldn't save.